Thanks for joining me, I'm Rutten, and in this quick video, I'll share how I use the TourBox Elite Plus to streamline painting in Procreate on the iPad. In previous videos, I've mentioned many times how much I love the new TourBox Elite Plus, and I've received some comments from viewers asking specifically about how this device works on the iPad and in Procreate. The folks at TourBox picked up on this feedback and asked if I could create another video to dive deeper into how I use it on the iPad so everyone can get a better idea of its capabilities. For those of you who aren't familiar with the TourBox, it's a Bluetooth editing console designed to enhance creative workflows on the iPad and even desktop computers. Quick disclaimer, this video is sponsored by TourBox and they sent me this device for review purposes. As always, all opinions in this video are my own. Let's dive into the TourBox console app and take a look at how I programmed my TourBox. I started with the default profile, which has already been optimized for Procreate. It's important to note that the commands you can select from are limited to what Procreate offers. You can hold the Command key in Procreate to see the full list, or you can browse the options in the TourBox console. Here's an overview of a few of the main settings. There are more, but we'll need to click on a function to show everything. Under Rotating section, I have the knob set to Dynamic Brush Control. This enables me to turn the knob to resize my brush, and the rate at which the brush resizes is controlled dynamically by the rate at which I turn the dial. So a slower turn will make a smaller adjustment, as opposed to a faster turn creating a larger adjustment. I have the sensitivity set to medium speed since that feels best to me. You can also use haptic feedback on the TourBox, but I prefer to keep it disabled. If I press this knob down, I can perform a different command. I have it set to Option iPadOS 17, which invokes the Modify button in Procreate. I set the Procreate gesture preferences to convert the last drawn line into a quick shape when I press this button. This makes it easy to draw straight lines and perfect shapes. Next, I have the scroll wheel set to zoom in and out. You're seeing this circle icon because I have a mouse connected to my iPad. This time I set the sensitivity to slow since I don't want the zooming to be too quick. When I press the scroll wheel down, I can reset the view, which will restore the default zoom level. The dial is set to rotate my canvas with slow speed for more control. Again, I can press this dial down and reset the rotation. That does it for the rotating controls. Now let's see what I have set to the Prem 4 section. These are distinctly shaped buttons. The tall button is set to select the paint tool. The short button is set to the erase tool. So as you can see, I can easily paint and erase without having to break my flow and click on the buttons at the top of the UI. The TourBox can hold a lot of commands since you can program each button to differentiate between a single click and a double click. You can also press combinations of buttons to add even more commands. For example, I can quickly press the short button twice to take and mark a screenshot. This could be useful if you wanted to make notes about something while you paint, or maybe you just want to quickly save a preview of your artwork without having to export it first. For the top button, I have it set to Option, which allows me to sample a color from the canvas. If I press the top button twice, I can show and hide the iPad dock. Setting the button mode from standard to send on release can help prevent a single press from happening accidentally. In this mode, the command doesn't trigger until I release the button. The side button can do two different things as well. With a single press, I can open the Layers menu. I can create and move layers here. If I quickly press the side button twice, I can open the color picker. This allows me to choose a color to paint with. Moving on to the Kit section, we have some smaller buttons. The TourBox button is set to enable full screen mode. This will hide the Procreate UI, giving me more room to draw. The two circular buttons are set to undo and redo. And if I press them in combination with the top button, I can lower or raise the screen brightness of the iPad. There is also a set of 4 buttons in a D-pad configuration. The left is set to enable the selections mode. I can use this to select specific areas of my layer. The right button is set to transform. I can use this to move, scale, and rotate layers. The bottom button is set to clear layer. And the top button is set to show and hide the perspective guides. These have to be set up and enabled first. As you can see, I can draw in perspective using the guides. If I want to keep drawing in perspective but hide the guides, then I'll press the top D-pad button. That does it for my favorite commands. It's worth looking through all of the available commands because there may be some that better suit your workflow. I will also mention that you can create separate profiles for each application you want to use the TourBox with. For example, I can program the TourBox to be used with Adobe Fresco and Clip Studio Paint as well. That brings us to the end of this tutorial. As you can see, the TourBox makes it much easier to make art on the iPad. I absolutely love using it. Because all of my most frequently used commands are a button press away, I don't have to consume time hunting around Procreate to find them. And because I can rest my hand on an ergonomic device, I am more comfortable and I don't have to interrupt my creative process tapping all around the UI. If you want to get yourself a TourBox Elite Plus, please use the affiliate link in the description of this video. I earn commission without any additional cost to you. Thanks for watching.